It's great to see you. Tumbleweed here. Yeah, good guy, black hat. Hey, a couple people have noted that have looked at the videos and noticed I've got a couple statues of eagles in the background. Well, they're kind of like leaders. They don't flock. You got to find them one at a time. Well, anyway, we're going to talk today, the fifth and final segment in a series on faith and business on servant leadership. This is about the real essence, which is leadership by example. In Judges 7:17, Gideon says, "Watch me," he said, "and do the same. And when I come to the outpost of the camp, do as I do." And they did. In terms of leadership, and servant leadership especially, it is critically important that the leaders serve as a disciple in truth, wisdom, and excellence to the leader's personal use through his use of core values. After all, it's been long proven that people tend to emulate great leadership. Recall the scene in Braveheart, as I did in a previous video, when William Wallace is rallying his forces, riding back and forth before his men with awesomely inspirational words about freedom. Every one of those men followed him into possible certain death. Do you recall in the movie Patton the scene on the stage with a huge U.S. flag behind the general, and he rallies his troops preparing for battle? Were Wallace and Patton leaders by example? You bet. Leading by example tends to establish a sense of community, a rallying around the leadership focus, such as Wallace's call for freedom. These leaders set an example by virtue of courage in the face of adversity and a conviction born of belief in a solid philosophy that combines to inspire confidence in their followers. The set of organizational core values ensure stability, create confidence, humanize the organization, and give a sense of purpose to ennoble, inspire, and edify. The successful leader, the servant leader, puts people first, not himself. In both examples above, the leaders have defined what the organization stands for, its core values and why it exists, its mission, and they follow that mission by their example. Ask yourself whether Jesus Christ led by example. Did he inspire his followers? Did he communicate God's core values? Was he courageous in the face of adversity? Did he empower others? Did he establish a sense of community? Did he rally his followers around love, trust, and God's truth? Was he successful in all of this? Well, this is almost rhetorical. Of course he was. Can you be an inspiring leader that leads by example? First, you have to establish that critical set of leadership characteristics that I've been describing over the past 4 videos. Everyone has the capacity to do this to a greater or lesser degree. I recall from my own scouting experiences many years ago how we strove to emulate the examples set by the leaders. They're doing good things. It was contagious. We all followed the leaders. Tumbleweed urges you to sit down and truly concentrate, to think out the set of leadership characteristics that you exemplify. And then practice, practice, practice. You may fail many times, but success will come with enduring the tests. And keep in mind, and I love Philippians 2:3-4, do nothing out of rivalry or conceit, but in humility consider others as more important than yourselves. Everyone should look out not only for his own interests, but also for the interests of others. Makes sense, doesn't it? We in the business world understand the importance of great customer service, for example, as a factor in sustaining successful businesses. The competitive battlefield is littered with the carcasses of businesses that fail to provide such service. I won't bore you with naming them all, but there's a lot, isn't there? I recently ran across a quote attributed to the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. He said, "Returning hate for hate multiplies hate. Adding deeper darkness to a night already devoid of stars. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Hate multiplies hate, violence multiplies violence, and toughness multiplies toughness in a descending spiral of destruction. The antidote to King's warnings is love and respect. I command that the Bible is a font of teachings on how to rightly treat others. Luke 6:31 echoes to us, just as you want others to do for you, do the same for them. Makes perfect sense. In a culture overly populated with selfishly ambitious people, in which enemies are dehumanized and the end far too often is said to justify the means, it's become far too easy to lose sight of the importance of truly caring service to customers. This self-centered, narcissistic thinking is rather ironic in an era of social media in which popularity is too often measured in Facebook likes. It is truly an emotional black hole that very few people are equipped to wrestle free of without help. Think how customer service reflects servant leadership, ranging from tech support help to direct customer interface at commercial establishments. How many times have you encountered a short-fused tech support person or a salesperson who's had a rough day and treats you as though you were lower than dirt? Yeah. How likely are you to repeatedly bring your business back to an establishment with customer service that fails to respect and care about you? What kind of example is being set? What kind of leadership are you providing? I contend that love and respect are honed in the sharpening wheel of faith. And as Martin Luther King advised, light drives out darkness, and love drives out hate. Each of us can be a light into the world that we touch. One of my favorite quotes is, of course, Albert Einstein. He said, as the radius of a circle of light increases, so too does the circumference of darkness. Wow, that to me is powerful. It is our light, reinforced by our faith and focusing on caring about others, that pushes away the darkness of hate, violence, and destruction. Indeed, optimal leadership is rooted in the love and respect strengthened through our faith. If you're setting that example, you're golden. You are going to be a servant leader. So it's about humility, looking out for the interests of others. It's about servant leadership. Just saying.